What's up? Welcome to the Streets Keep You Honest podcast brought to you by Apple Orchard Hockey Supply. I am Patrick, joined by Keith,
What's up?
Jesse,
Thanks for coming out.
and Chris is not with us today. He's actually gone. He went to a hockey camp, tried to get better at hockey. Didn't feel like he was very good, which I think everyone can relate. So he's going to get some lessons. So we'll see
Good
if it
luck for him.
translates. But in his stead, our guest today, we're coming right off the top. Executive Director of the Covington Street Hockey League, Mr. Tim Acri. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being here. What's up, guys? How's everyone's day, week? It's been a scorcher, huh?
Yeah, we've been gone for a couple weeks, yeah. And we had Father's Day.
Yes, the Father's Day Super League send was amazing. I was talking to you guys before we came on. It's very cool to see all the little kids out there. I have two sons, as you guys know, 7 and 10. And for a long time, I feel like they were like the OG CSHL kids. We'd be playing, they'd be running around, and now there's like a million little ones running around. It was very cool.
Yeah, CSHL just evolving over time, you know. When we first started out, a lot of us were just available all the time and going out there and getting after it. And yeah, now a bunch of us are parents. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I could never go do things, and you guys were living it up because I had my little ones, and now they're a little older, and I'm a little more free, and you losers are at home all the time.
None of us can do anything anymore. It's crazy.
I can. I'm perfectly fine. Doing my thing.
Tim's doing his thing.
It's like the opposite ends of the spectrum. You got like new dads as I switch to the camera, and then you got, other dad.
Yeah. And the day before, you know, we got out there for a Saturday send scheduled, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I'd say the weather was like 50-50 and not a lot of people showed up.
So we are doing Friday Night Lights this evening. Are you able to do that, or do you have to go home and be a dad?
I got to be a dad.
Ah, see.
Classic. Yeah.
So we're yeah, Friday Night Lights tonight. We Jesse and I were part of one of the better sends we've had recently, and this is a testament to the league. The weather, it looked iffy, I'll give it that. There were some clouds in the sky. Four of us showed up. I think a fifth showed up. My man Pedro, he showed up little ways through, but we played 2-on-2 posts, and man, we had a day. Best game of posts ever. Everyone was dinging them.
Yeah, it was crazy fun, and we've played posts before when goalies haven't shown up, and there were like 15 guys, and nobody can hit the post.
No,
But
nobody.
like we were
Nothing.
out there 2-on-2,
Yeah.
and we were just like hitting the best shots of our lives.
like-
Was
It's like playing a game of catch where everyone just keeps missing every time.
Oh god.
it's a beautiful thing, and it's a testament to the league. I agree. It's like, dude, you can have fun with any of these guys, even if the goalies don't show up, even if we don't have the best turnout. Like the people that are there are gonna like participate in playing some form of hockey, and it's probably gonna be a lot of fun.
I always say, if you send it, they will come, and that is
True
if
that.
everyone adopts that mindset. I will say though, I think the kicker was the weekend before, same gloomy looking sky, and we had like 30 dudes show up, and we got our skates on, got out, and it rained just enough to ruin it, and the clouds just stayed, and it was a bummer.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's an incredible thing, man. I don't even know what to say about it. Just you know, keep coming out and keep having fun, dude.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the weather. Yeah, Super League, Father's Day. That was so hot. Dudes were like melting.
Yeah.
It was brutal. We
Yeah,
won't. We
try
won't
to.
touch just on Super League just yet. Oh, my brother's calling me.
Oh man.
Go away. Um, but yeah. So what do we have here? Ooh, tomorrow the e-waste event. Can you speak on that a little bit? I've never. I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever actually attended that one.
Yeah, so we work in tandem with the city, setting up the e-waste event at Holmes High School. We get asked to do it every year, and one of the more cool events we do, believe it or not. Yes, you are sitting on blacktop in the hot, hot heat, but you're gonna find some old vintage electronic stuff that you didn't know anyone had.
That's rad. That's rad.
And then you're also going to find some older paranoid folks that are handing over their boxes of paper to be shredded, and they will pull over on the side and make sure that it gets shredded.
Ah, make sure Nelly doesn't like pocket a social security number.
Yeah.
You never know.
And on top of that, they always feed us a
Yep.
beautiful meal from a local restaurant. I think this is our fourth year
At least
doing
fourth.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say fourth.
And every single time they feed us really good. So
Nice.
come out to the e-waste event. It's a lot of fun. It's a good way to connect with your fellow bub and bring water. It's gonna be hot. We know it. But yeah, it's really cool. And I know Keith has found some pretty cool stuff at the e-waste event.
Like there has been a lot of cool things I have found, like some 2004 gaming PCs. You're seeing some old graphics cards. You're going through there. You're like, hey, I could probably still use this, but recycle priority. In regards to the paperwork, that is one of the busiest sections that I've done it for 3 years. 1 year my dog got sick like the night before, so I missed out on it. But so it has been four. But like the paperwork shredding is unbelievable. We've had dudes bring in like records from like 1982 who owned a sporting goods store. That one stuck out to
Oh
me
wow.
because there was some like old hockey stuff there, some old like coho and things mentioned in some of the list,
Huh.
and we're shredding those. But in regards to electronics, you'll get that like 50-inch TV from 1999 that weighs about
Oh
156
yeah.
pounds. They're bringing those out. You'll get a lot of TVs, a lot of computers. The amount of printers is ridiculous that we come through, but I think one of my personal favorite finds was an old Panasonic projector. We're talking, maybe like 93 if I had to take a guess on this thing, but instead of one singular bulb, actually like we got above us right now, it had the three. It was a green, a blue, and a red. And somehow those three lights meshing together made the image. I don't know how it does it, but it was absolutely one of the coolest
That's so
things.
cool.
Like Willy Wonka.
Yeah, it really was. So make sure you bring some sunscreen. Don't be an idiot. There will be water provided. We've had Bard's Burgers before. We had Olia the last time. It's Olia,
Oh, so good. Empanada box one time. Yeah. Yeah. So
right?
they always feed us
Yeah,
really
it starts
nice.
at 10. I think Sheila asked us to be there at 9:45.
Yep.
And then we go from like 10 to noon or something.
Yeah, and if you are volunteering tomorrow and you see some cars on your way in, pass all the cars, get back to the parking lot. That's where we're all going to be, because people are getting in line to start shredding their paper.
Jesse, you in the chat earlier, the Discord in relation to this event, I thought you pointed out some good things about the volunteer events that we do occasionally and sort of how that does equate to the free hockey week. Can you elaborate on
Yeah.
that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So, when we first started this league, we all decided as a collective that we wanted to be a little more than just a hockey league. So we built a nonprofit, our fiscal agent being the Center for Great Neighborhoods. And the center hooks us up with a lot of different opportunities to plug into the local community. Our mission is, impacting the local community through the love of hockey. So, um, these kind of things to stay in good standing with the city, to bond with your fellow man, and then the league is free to play in, and so these type of volunteer events, when we set these up and we fundraise and things like that, it helps us stay free and stay kind of true to our goal, which is accessible hockey. That's the most, like, one of the most important things for us is accessible hockey all the time. So, if you have some free time on Saturday, we really appreciate it. And I'm serious. I've been to all four of them, and it's super fun. So,
For a lot of people, awesome. Well, cool. In a bit, we will dive a little deeper with Tim as far as the relationship between the league and the city and the community and that kind of cool harmony we've made. But should we kick it over to the Labatt
Ooh, I think we should. So
local hockey roundup? I think we got some good ones.
we do. So bear with me as we are doing the first video recording of our podcast here. So I'm kind of
Oh,
kind of working on some audio, working on some video. So we're definitely going to do our best. So let's go ahead and we're going to talk about the local hockey roundup. And as you can see, we are representing the Sharks.
Street
Booyah.
Sharks.
Street Sharks wearing my jersey. You know, this is the irony at its best as the game is at 6 o'clock, and I'm going to try my hardest to get there. But sometimes the drive up to Northland is a
Oh, man.
little hard. So.
I'm still in that chat. It looked like dudes were dropping like flies. Poor Rick may not survive the weekend,
He,
so we'll
he
see.
he may not, and that's the hardest thing about trying to do ice during the summer. It is vacations. It is your kids are there. It's more family events. It's more difficult. And while you're saying like that's a negative, 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 Sharks haven't lost since we talked last.
Booyah.
We had, I might have to bust out the cell phone here because your boy Gabriel Landeskog actually showed up to a couple games and it was pretty good. We are still, I think we're number one because we've played more games than the other team. There is a team who is, I put my fingers up, undefeated, but they have not played as many games as we have. So let me look at my schedule. Let's go to the past and let's talk about what we might have missed. Two good games. Two good games here. So it was Street Sharks versus Fire. They were definitely in the top four of the league there. A lot of really big dudes. There wasn't a single person under that team under like 6'3", 250, which sometimes can be a benefit if they're slow, but not a single one of those guys were slow. They were a really, really hard team to play. We did win 6-3. Got to give some absolute credit to Drake. Our man that's in net on roller and he's in net on streets, but don't let him get the puck when he's on ice because I think he put down 2 or 3. I think it was 2. Andrew also did fantastic, got some solid goals there. So 6-3, big win. And then we ended up playing the elder kids again. This game I did miss. Uh, it was an 11-15er, our third 11-15er of the season. Tommy, we're going to have to talk about that. That's a lot of late games there, bud. But that one, we lost to them the first time 3-2, but then we came out and did an absolute 5-1 smackdown. So for just a bunch of roller dudes making their way over to the ice side of things, can't say enough about my Street Sharks. We do have the sickest jerseys in the league, and honestly, you know what? It's kind of funny. Tim was a Shark very briefly. He was part of our roller squad.
was.
We were.
Yeah.
That's the one thing about the Street Sharks when it comes to local hockey roundup. It reminds me a lot of what the CSHL stands for. Like, hey, dude, you want to come play? Come hang out. And on top of that, Pat was a Street Shark.
Hey, that was a good one.
Right. The
Yes,
Street
sir.
Sharks were there if you want to come out and try to play ice. I know roller is still in the works and there might be another season beforehand, but if you're listening to this podcast, if you play on the streets or it's the first time you ever thought about playing hockey, please come hang out with the Sharks. We're happy to have you. We will work with you. We'll be a good team together. And you know what? I couldn't be more proud of my dudes. Very proud of my guys.
That's sick.
Another, so some of our local guys, very cool thing. Chris, I believe, sort of spearheaded it. That's why I'm kind of playing catch up here. I was gonna let him wax poetically on it, but the Kentucky Ice Hockey Collective down in Lexington, I believe, they are holding a tournament. I believe one of their guys has a sick daughter and is having a rough time, so they're throwing this tournament, a little fundraiser to help support her and her family, and they were a few guys short, I guess, and I think 5 or 6 of our guys went ahead and signed up and paid the entry fee and all that, and got the thing going. So a few of our guys are going down there to play this weekend. It was like a draft style, so they just sort of filled in on all different teams and stuff.
Hell yeah.
I think Wild Bill was going, Chris, Principal Joe, I think, and I don't know who else, but yeah, a few other guys. So I thought that was very cool that we stepped up and helped those guys out. I think that was really cool,
That's
and
awesome.
they gave us a shout online. So best of luck. We're wishing all the best over there. So
And you mentioned Principal Joe.
yeah.
Do you know what Principal Joe is? He's a street shark too.
Oh yeah.
On the roller and on the ice. Joe is a grinder. I'm so excited for him to go down there. It'll be so cool to see.
I thought you were gonna call him a son of a bitch.
Now that we have added
Damn.
sound effects, man, we got all the options.
Is that was that for Principal Joe?
That's Principal Joe all the way.
Damn, dude.
Actually, I hit the wrong button, but it's
Yeah. Yes. Not usually
I was going for the bruh one, but
Oh wait, I'll give
Yeah.
that to you.
All right,
There you go.
that's Principal Joe, bruh. When he comes
Kinda-
up behind you, back checking you, yeah,
uh
bruh.
so next um Keith. Nelly doesn't seem to have your number, so
Oh. So
what
what we can do is for this
Can we call
episode.
him?
You know what? Pat, hold on. We're gonna do this
we're gonna sort
live.
this out.
We're gonna sort this out live. So I think the best thing that don't want to call
Only best.
it.
Best live.
It's best when we do this live. So Pat, I'm just going to text you just the digits for Nelly to call, and I will keep an eye out for it while we do this.
Okay.
So we'll do that. Hit some buttons. Bing bong. All right. So went ahead and text that to you.
We got a big surprise for everyone.
We really do. And we all like, conversations with our good friend Nelly. They're always interesting. We don't know what they're going to be. We don't know where it's going to go, but we're hoping to get them on here in just a second.
Uh-oh. You said you just text me?
Oh man, hopefully I did.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
It does say Pat.
This is why it's live.
Yeah.
This is why it's live.
Hmm.
PT.
Phone home.
And we are in a basement, so we have to add that to the effect of minimal cell phone service is always something to consider when you're downstairs with some concrete walls here in Covington.
We'll edit some of this dead time.
Keith
Yeah.
Keith keeps us down here.
We do.
Uh
You're not allowed
lets
to
us go sometimes.
not have the podcast here in the basement. You know what? Here's some good filler conversation while we're kind of working on this. We have officially gone past the Cup final. Florida did it again.
Wow, dude. I want to know Tim's opinion on these two teams. Florida knocked out his favorite team. He loves the Capitals. Alex Ovechkin broke the ultimate record. No, they did not play each other, but Carolina lost to Florida, and Carolina beat the Capitals. So, what do you think about that?
Listen, F- Florida was by far, in my opinion, the dominant team this year in hockey, and for the last couple years actually. But
Yeah.
I was, frankly, I was pulling for Edmonton only because I wanted Connor McDavid to kind of justify himself as the
Me
best
too,
player in the
man.
league. But there was no beat in Florida. And as much as I am a Caps fan, and as obviously my dog's name's Ovi because I'm a huge Ovechkin fan, I found it enlightening that Carolina played the Caps as hard as they did, and then to get smoked by Florida the way they did, it just kind of shows you the level of the level of Florida played this year. So
Dude, am
by
I
far the best team in the NHL won the Stanley Cup this year.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Vegas win a few years back where they were kind of good for a minute and then
Yeah.
turned it on. They didn't turn it on in the playoffs. They played all season long, and I mean when you win the final game 5-1, that just kind of shows it all right there. So they came to play.
Dude, I'm kind of feeling like this is the greatest NHL team we've ever seen.
Mhm.
And I know it's early to say so with 2 cups. We've seen some get 3, but my goodness, this might be the best.
Yeah, but Kachuk, Marchand, I mean
Oh, the Marchand
Bob's
thing.
in the goal.
Can we call Nelly?
Uh,
Texts don't seem to be going through.
Okay. So yeah, we can definitely call Nelly. Hang tight for a second here.
Sure, you want to give him your number? Keith?
So this is actually what we're going to do. We're going to put the keypad over. I'm going to hand it to Pat.
Okay.
Keith only has 2 hands, Pat. So.
I do only have 2 hands, so we're going to be switching between cameras. You know what? We ain't going to edit any of this. This is realism. This is what a podcast looks like when you're not sponsored by Barstool Sports. Barstool Sports sponsor us.
Thankfully, we have Keith who can chop it all the way up.
Totally going to keep it all in here on purpose. Actually. All right, looks like we do have old Nelly's number here. Let's go ahead and do that.
I want to point out that Nelly's number saved the same as I did when I met him, and it's Kyle Crazy South Bend.
All right, we are calling him right now. Let's see if he answers.
What up, Nelly?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, hang on there, bud.
Welcome to the
All right, give me-
podcast.
We got a little intro for you.
Yeah, so it's going to play here on YouTube. I'm going to keep it there for you. I'll let you know when to talk.
I get my script ready. Shit my pants.
All right. So whenever you're ready, Nelly, you are live. You are here
69
for the
seconds
party.
with Nelly. You got 69 seconds. Do we have a timer running?
Yep, I got it.
You got it? All right.
I don't. I've got a lot. Okay.
Well, it's 69 seconds. We hang up on you at 69 seconds.
All right, Kyle Nelson. Ding.
Here we go.
150. South Bend, Indiana. Let's talk about the Stanley Cup final. Brad Marchand, winner. The Rat, winner. Sasha Barkov, dog. Connor McJesus, loser. Hey, losing rebound. I mean, come on. Jeez.
Boy.
Go to WNBA. Caitlin Clark, bad bitch. Sophia Cunningham, hot. Top prober of the WNBA. Karen Reed, point, not filthy. Something weird there. Boston Cops. CHL softball teams suck. Sucker. Johnny Tays, welcome back. Jets, baby. Hometown boy coming home.
Hometown.
Yep.
You know
You
what?
guys are boners for not playing on Sunday. It's hot. Who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Nelly, you
Deaths
have
of the week. Deaths of the week. In memoriam. Brian Wilson, Beach Boys, for life. Sly Stone. Yes.
4,
He's a great guy.
3,
Wrap it up.
2.
Yep.
Thanks for
Coming.
coming.
Blew up next to me this week. Gamer.
Hang up.
Talk about
Holy shit. That was better than I could have ever
Yeah,
imagined.
he was prepared. He was
Mighty God.
prepared for sure.
We do this every week.
That's the plan.
That was the best. And the fact that we could just press the hang up button, he
Oh.
might still be talking.
He probably
Nelly,
is.
We love you, buddy.
Holy shit. That was.
Wow.
He was prepared too. That was impressive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you, Nelly.
Think about it. Nelly shows up to Ascend with 2 wheels and no skates, but
And a bag of bagels.
and a bag of bagels, and he was prepared
Bagels.
for the podcast. That was impressive. Hats off to Nelly.
So we got Tim Acri, our executive director. Tim. So, what? Tell us a little bit. What's your hockey background? How'd you start playing hockey? How long you been playing? What's your relationship to the sport?
So I grew up just outside of Philly, about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour outside of Philly, a little town called Steelton, Pennsylvania. Um, Crazy enough, I started playing on ponds in the winter, like most people do on the East Coast. That kind of brought a passion for hockey. Big kids let me in the games when I was just a little kid, about 4 or 5 years old, actually. My grandparents lived right on what we called the reservoir, which was the water supply for the town I grew up in. So it would freeze over most of the time, completely solid. Obviously, a lot different winters when I was growing up. And started skating there. And we didn't have a hockey team in my high school, pretty small school that I went to, but I ended up playing club. Hershey Optimist, shout out. They're no longer around, but the Optimist clubs are obviously still throughout the U.S. But I played for the Hershey Optimist for a few years.
That is very old people shit, Tim.
Very old people,
Yeah.
for sure. And they were solid. Like, we had sweet sweaters and matching pants. I mean,
Yeah.
they had the dollars to keep us outfitted. And then I played a little bit with the Junior Bears, kind of a club team of the Junior Hershey Bears, AHL team, farm team to the Capitals. Shout out. That's why I'm a Capitals fan.
Interesting.
Went to a couple hockey camps down there that the Caps hosted via the Bears in Hershey, Pennsylvania, which wasn't far from where I grew up. And then ran off into the military, spent some time in the Navy as a Navy Seabee. The captain of my battalion was a huge hockey fan. His 2 sons played at Virginia Tech,
Okay.
and so he started a battalion hockey team.
Oh, no way.
And I played in the Navy, so I always tell everybody I played hockey in the Navy. It was more of a club team as well. That was just on base. There was a bunch of different teams, lots of great hockey players. I mean, you can imagine you take a culmination of guys from all over the United States,
Yeah.
and you can find 10 or 11 good hockey players in a out of 600 or 700. So uh, played in the Navy for a while. Um, Again, my captain's kids went to Virginia Tech, so I got out of the military, went to Virginia Tech, kept playing hockey there as well. Never was good enough to make the club team down there, but did play against them. I was
Sure.
more of a battering ram for those kids
Yeah, yeah,
because
probably
they
made you
were
better.
really good. And yeah, and I just kept skating. I ended up moving to DC after I got out of the military. Played hockey there. Um, Ironically, ice hockey was about $900 a session when I lived in DC.
Okay.
Really expensive.
Wow.
It was like, I don't know, 20 games and you got a damn sweater of some pro team. I think I was the Lightning for the couple years I played. And then I met a couple guys that played roller, which was $250 a session.
Yep.
And so I switched over and started playing inline. My claim to fame in DC was there was this kid, um, his name was Michael Weiss. You guys might be a little too young for him, but he was an Olympian figure skater actually. This kid showed up one day to play inline with us. He was like a cousin or a brother-in-law or something of one of the guys that played with us. And he had on regular rollerblades, kind of like what's hanging up there on the wall,
Yeah.
and gardening gloves, bicycle helmet, and some knee pads, and a stick, of course,
Okay.
plastic bladed stick like old Milex shit. And he came out, and the guy that he knew that they brought him as a sub, we were like, dude, what is going on here? This guy is wearing like gardening gloves. And so, anyways, he steps out onto the rink and we start warming up. And he had never played hockey before, but he didn't need to because he was the best skater I've ever seen. Obviously, he was
Huh.
Olympian. He was
Right,
an
right.
Olympic figure skater. So he was pirouetting around guys and like putting his feet sideways and scooting between the boards. And he was just unbelievable. So it
He's just shredding dudes. He's never
shredding.
played hockey.
Never played hockey before, but he was so agile on his feet.
I love
that-
Some
it.
like
That's
real life Mighty Ducks stuff.
yeah, and some people literally just sat back at one point. We all were just like, let him go. I want to see him skate again because he was so graceful on skate. And anyways, about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes into the game, his wife showed up, who was also his coach. And he wasn't obviously supposed to be playing hockey because he's training for the Olympics. And she quickly escorted him off the rink and
Wow, you imagine
never
that.
got to skate with him again.
We're
So
like, so and so misses the Olympics due to injury from local street hockey
exactly,
game.
exactly. So, anyways, I packed up all of my crap and I moved to Cincinnati in 1995.
Okay.
And yeah, long time ago. When were you born, Keith?
1989.
Yeah, so I moved out here and bought my house in Covington, um, and been in Covington ever since. So
Wow.
played ice hockey, Sports Plus,
Yeah.
Northlands, Northern Kentucky. Played for a bunch of teams. Keith mentioned Fire earlier. I've played against Fire for a
Ooh.
long time.
They've been around for a minute then.
Yeah, that was when I was the Trashers. Um, they were all firefighters. So, anyways, I played for the local Trashers, sponsored by Rumpke. We had a team for, I don't know, 15 years probably.
Right.
And everybody got to about my age in that 50 range. And I'm 56 now, but about 50, we broke up the ice hockey team just because people got old. God rest his soul. Todd Rumpke died. He was our sponsor. And that was it. So, ironically, I was at Gypsy's one evening. Guy by the name of Nate Green, everybody calls him the Green Wall. He started asking me questions about playing hockey, and he had played the very first week that these 7 guys went out there on Kenny Shields, and told me about it. And I was like, "Yeah, I'll come out." So I grabbed some skates, my old inlines. I put them on my feet, and they disintegrated because they had been that old. And so I went to play it against sports. Bought a pair of inline skates, and
What send is this? I mean, was he there like
this was
send
like
number
Yeah,
two?
like send number 2.
Send number
So
two.
you were there send number
Well,
2.
and,
Wow.
And send number 1, we couldn't get on skates. A lot of us
That's
had
right.
skates, but we couldn't get on them because of
Snow.
snowing. So
So you were there the first
First
send
real
on skates.
first send on skates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And my wife was there as well. We were short a goalie. She threw on the pads and played goalie because she was a collegiate goalie, a goalie in college at field hockey. and so we threw some pads, and I think we put maybe a catcher's mask on her and a baseball glove or something. We didn't have a lot of gear, obviously. We had some legs. That was about it. And we played, and I got
Rip
hooked.
slap shots at your wife.
Yeah, and I met absolutely.
Dude,
Matter of
his,
fact,
Yeah,
Justin
his wife's a
Patterson.
I don't
legend.
kink shame, dude. It's
His
all
wife's
good.
a legend. His wife was at Jumanji, and there was only a few people that made it like to Jumanji that can remember how treacherous that rink was.
Yeah.
I've never been.
One of the many CSHL field trips, and
Yep.
Kara was the goalie at Jumanji. I'll never forget that.
Yep.
And now she's the president of our nonprofit.
Yep. And I remember first time she played, Justin cracked a clapper from, I wouldn't say the point because it was on the basketball court, so
Right.
somewhere far away from the
So it
goal.
was even closer.
And my wife's well endowed in the upper areas, and it smacked her square in the
Damn.
front of her breast,
Mm.
and Justin, of course, took off running because Kara chased him around the rink with the stick, trying to
There you go.
slash him. And
Now hit the button, Jesse.
yeah,
Oh,
that's a
which
good
one?
Boom, boom, boom.
There we
Yeah,
go.
let's go.
There we go. Slap shots to the.
So yeah, that was like maybe send number 5 or 6, but send number 2, I was there, and I realized how cool these guys were. I love their passion, and what they were going to try to do for the city. Um, I mostly stuck around because I was curious to see if all these young crazy fucks would do it, and
Right.
and here we are.
Yeah, and all the stuff we've done since then. My
Here we are.
goodness.
I was like, I'll
did you
help.
have any civic involvement with Covington up until that point, or was it all sort of?
No, I mean, I was involved in my neighborhood. I live in Seminary Square, down in Covington, so I was involved in my neighborhood. I did neighborhood cleanups
Right.
and Earth Day cleanups and all the things that the city of Covington does. But no involvement with the city at that point. Really, I just found a couple guys that I thought was super cool. Um, and at that time, it was just a couple guys. There was, I don't know, maybe 10 of us. Next week there was like 15, and then there was all of a sudden 30, and then all of a sudden we're like, where are all these guys coming
Yeah,
from?
no kidding.
And they just kept coming, and the play kept getting better, and we organized a bunch of stuff with cleanups and the
So-
e-waste events and anything that we could think of that we could help.
At
the
what
city out.
point did we sort of? I mean, I know some of it had sort of happened even before I came along, so it happened relatively early. But at some point, as it gained momentum, someone said, "Well, we should probably have some sort of organization to this, right?" How early did that happen on? And I guess that really did sort of spawn your trajectory all the way to city council, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
when did that kind of
Some
happen?
summer.
Probably summertime. Jesse's brother Jason is a grand thinker, right? Like he had
Oh, yeah.
huge visions.
Spreadsheets for days.
Yeah, he had these huge visions.
Flow charts,
and
yeah.
He wanted us to raise money
Love
to
you,
build a
Jason.
dog park, and he put up this crazy um, uh, mission statements, and
Yeah.
organizational charts, and he had all this stuff that he really
It needed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
it did, and he kind of spawned. The idea was there. None of us even had titles at that point. I mean, he was Commish, and I was Tim Bob,
Yeah.
and that was that, right? Like everybody had nicknames, but there was no real authoritative
Right.
people. And Jason chose to take that role, and he kind of led us down a path that was amazing and crazy all at the same time. And I think Jason, Jesse, myself, Nate Green, all of the OGs, Dave, and
That opened a dialogue with the
yeah,
city itself, and
yep.
hey, this is what we're
Justin-
trying to do.
Justin
and-
Patterson
Yep.
was for sure. Like and we were
Street.
super focused, but it was too much, right? Like in the very beginning, it was too much. Like
Yeah, yeah.
we were there to play hockey, and although it was awesome picking up trash, it became work.
Yeah.
And I think in the very beginning it was really fun for a few months, and then it was like, wait a minute, all we want to do is play hockey and then go to Gypsies afterwards and have a couple of bats. But and, we then realized that if we're going to be taken serious, and this thing is grown out of our own control because so many people showed up and so many people started following us and wanting more. And then we put on our first event that was a huge success. We raised money, a lot of money actually, on our first event. Like
Yeah.
we had West Six giving us, showing up with big giant checks, And we're like, what is going on here? Like, we have to take this serious, like, because now we have a bank account, and we have to really show something. So it just kind of spawned from there. We all agreed that Kenny Shields probably wasn't the best spot for us, solely because it was a basketball court, and we needed something a little more. So Jesse and I and my wife Kara and a couple other people talked about finding a location. I went down and talked with the city again before I was commissioner, and we talked to Parks and Rec director at that time. Her name was Rosie.
But that's how they got to know your face
That's
and
how
know
they
who
got to
you
know us.
are. And
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
for sure. And she took us to a couple different locations in Covington. Said, "Oh yeah, you could build a rink here. You could build a rink there." By this point, we had tens of thousands of dollars in our checking account from events that we were doing and raising money and donations and all that stuff. And in the meantime, we were spending that money on kids. We were buying Christmas gifts. We were putting together little parties. We were doing whatever to celebrate the CSHL and all the people around us. But we wanted it to be more. And so Kara and I went down and met with the city, and we struck a development agreement with the city for the rink that we currently skate at, which is Barb Cook Park. In the meantime, trying to figure out how we are going to pull this off. We knew we always had money to asphalt, but we still didn't have boards at that time.
Right.
And and then we got word, actually, again, God rest his soul, Wheels got word that Hara Arena was being wrecked, which is where Wheels played
Yeah.
a lot of hockey growing up. And he told myself and Chris Weiss and Jesse.
Rob was on
And
here.
yeah,
He told us, yeah.
yeah.
It was, what a
Oh, Rob was on here.
Rob was
Oh,
on here,
sweet.
yeah, and
Oh, yeah.
he was telling us how Kyle had his eyes on those boards for years,
Yeah.
years.
After the hurricanes came, after the tornadoes came through Dayton, Hara Arena was destroyed, and so being that I'm in the demolition industry, I knew the demo contractor. Wheels told me they were being wrecked. I tried to figure out who's wrecking the building. I found out who was wrecking the building. We went up there. We asked a specific question if we could have the boards. They told us yes, because we are financially um, financially backed by a 501c3, we were able to actually give them a tax credit. And so we wrote the demolition contractor a tax credit. And they told us that we had, yes, sir. They told us that we had, thank you, we had 2 days to get all the boards out of Hare Arena because they were starting the demolition on Monday morning. And this was Thursday afternoon when I called them. Uh-oh.
Wow.
So we somehow, like we always do, rallied the troops.
Mobilize.
On Friday, we got people with trucks and trailers and tools, and I think like maybe 12 guys went up on Saturday and unbolted everything. And on Sunday, the other group went up and humped them all out of Hara Arena, and literally the building was falling down around us. I mean, like it was about to
bad.
be demoed on Monday, and we got them all out. We stacked them on the trailers. We strapped them down. We drove them back to Cincinnati, Covington, sorry, and we unloaded them at Barb Cook Park. Um, and then the very next weekend, we put them up. In the meantime, while we were waiting for the boards, we ended up resurfacing an old tennis court at Barb Cook Park. So it already had a base. We just had to put 4 inches of asphalt over top of it to make what we now call our rink.
Oh, there
And
used to be tennis courts there.
yeah, it was
Yep.
it was a
Huh.
tennis court, and then we resurfaced it for our court, and for our rink, and we put the boards up. I think maybe the next weekend, over the next 2 weekends or so, and fabricated the nets and
Yep.
painted the lines and did all the stuff that is
Yeah.
currently out there now. Obviously, since then we've had it resurfaced, and because that was what 3 years, 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Yeah.
it was like 3 years.
3 years.
So that's
Uh,
kind of it. I mean, that's literally a quick history of how I got involved in the CSHL. But,
Yeah,
you know,
no,
all the
that
way
was
back
great.
in
You
hockey.
Man, you think about the juice we had, like when we went and got those boards, worked out that deal, got the boards in 2 days.
It's crazy.
It was a 35-man operation
It was nuts.
that we mobilized instantly.
Seamless.
Just like we're hitting up our guys, like, yo, opportunity of a lifetime. Be on standby to leave your home and come grab this stuff with
Yeah.
us like in the next 2 days. And just a miracle that we set it all up and we did it like seamlessly.
Yep.
Imagine if all those dudes had kids then.
Well, there
Yeah.
you go.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
can't make it.
Yeah, I'm not, it's just amazing the timing and all of that because like we probably couldn't have done it nowadays.
Yep.
We could
Oh,
not.
Those
And
damn
so,
kids.
part of like, wanting to welcome new guys into the league and all that is like we need young guys that are willing and able to help us continue this awesome thing that like we've spent so many years building through time and yeah, I just
Absolutely.
yeah.
mhm.
So Tim, he was as we mentioned, city commissioner now. What were you teasing earlier before we hit record? We were talking about what we were going to talk. You said, "You know what? I'll save it." Right?
Yeah. So, Pat, I am city commissioner. I was elected this year. I give a huge shout out to the CSHL for supporting me. I think I got a lot of votes just from what you guys posted and or who you talked to and told. But I've always had a passion. My father was the mayor of the town I grew up in. So I've been around politics most of my life, most of my teenage and above life, anyways. And Covington's gone in a perfect trajectory up. It's it's one of the best 50 top cities to live in the nation. It was just listed top 10 city for food and wine in the Food and Wine magazine. Um, we have an unbelievable amount of development, property values, as bad as much as it sucks. Property values are way up in Covington, and houses are hard to find. We are working on a housing problem now, but anyways, nonetheless, there's a lot going on in Covington, and so I decided to throw my hat in the ring and won. So now that I'm a city commissioner, there's a huge focus. Um, they know that I have a huge focus and a huge passion on recreation in general, not just the CSHL, but of course, CSHL is number one in my heart. And so we've been working closely with the city. Even before I became a commissioner, we've been working closely with the city to see how they can help us put a roof over our rink so that we can play year round and we wouldn't have to cancel
Right.
Sundays, as Nelly called
Well, and
us a
I've always
bunch
looked
of
at it
boners.
with the roof, we can more consistently offer things like youth
That's right.
programs or throw fundraising tournaments that we don't have to worry about getting rained out because historically
They always get
we
rained out.
we
Very
always
bad.
get rained out. But yeah, so I mean, it's not just we need a roof so
That's right.
we can drink beer and play hockey.
Correct. Well, and obviously bringing the kids in, and we've
Yeah,
talked about making it, having Thursday night roller skating and Tuesday night square dancing or whatever
yeah,
the
yeah.
city wants to
Whatever,
use it for, right?
whatever. But it's there
Yeah.
to be used, and it's not. I just want people to know that yeah, we're not just
Yeah.
like we want a roof because like we don't want to get rained out
That's right.
at our party. It could be just
Everybody's. Yes, sir.
more consistent for anyone who wants to use it for, and ideally we can use it for good causes like raising money for the community or
Yep. Yep.
giving back in some way.
So that's most everybody sitting in this room at least knew about the roof, and I think most of the league knows that the roof is the RFP, request for proposal, is being sent out by the city. The city has agreed to put the roof up for us
I know.
through funding that they have already set aside for Barb Cook Park. What they've asked us to do is spend that money on something else in the park. The money that we've already raised, and I'm not going to say the number because I don't know it exactly, but
Sure.
it's greater than $25,000 that we have in the bank. We just had our recent golf outing, and I don't remember how much we made out of that. So I'm not the numbers guy, anyways. So, and Keith and I have been talking, and Jesse and I have been talking. We'd love to do something for the courts. Maybe we put up new hoops. There's some amazing street ball down there. If you watch
Yeah,
those kids from across the street come
It's
over there and play
insane.
street ball, they're unbelievable how good they are at basketball.
absolutely.
So we want to give them a better court. Unfortunately, the asphalt's cracked. There's weeds growing up through the middle of it, all that stuff. So,
Right.
so we're talking possibly about resurfacing, putting up hoops, breakaway rims. Giving these guys some lights. There's all kind of things we can do, and unfortunately, in today's climate, 25 grand doesn't go far, but it does go farther than what they have now.
Sure.
So on Tuesday, one day this week, I was at City Hall, and the public works director, Keith Bales, came up to me and he said, we need a full-time real restroom at Barb Cook, like water, toilets,
Ooh.
running water, the whole 9 yards. And I was like, we do. He's like, well, I mean, where do you go to the bathroom now? And I was like, no, Keith, we really need a bathroom.
Don't ask
Really?
that. Yeah.
Nobody
Don't
wants
ask
We
what
really
you don't
need
want
one.
the answer
We
to.
really need one. So he is going to talk to Parks and Rec, which shout out to Greg. He's who I've been working with. He's a full-time city employee. Obviously, Keith is too. And they're going to report back to me sometime mid next week on what they possibly can do to get water, electric. Well, we already have electric,
Greg
obviously.
and Keith, we're counting on you.
Yeah.
No pressure.
And to put a true bathroom at the park. Keith told me his reasons for pushing this is he lives in Tuscany, which is south of our rink, down
Yeah, yeah,
South
down
Covington,
17,
South
yeah.
Covington.
sure.
And he told me that he went by there 3 days in a row, and there was 40 people in the park. Maybe not all on our rink, but hooping, swinging, wrestling, kicking soccer balls, throwing frisbees, whatever. He says it is the most utilized park in Covington
Oh yeah.
since we put our rink there.
Hell yeah.
No kidding,
That's what he
dude.
told me. Yep.
What an unbelievable thing that we.
Yeah. We've opened
dude,
that park up to let people come back.
when we were talking about Barb Cook, we had apprehensions about it because we didn't want to impose on people. And so what we decided was that if we're going to impose on people, we're going to try to make it the best experience for everyone.
That's right.
Us, them, everyone. Everyone comes and has a great time in this park. That's why Bubs Fest happened. That's why we had all those, bounce houses and
Dunk tanks.
dunk tanks and all the silly stuff, that we did for that, and just it's yeah, I just part of the CSHL is that we bring the community up at all times. It's imperative. So
Hell yeah. That's amazing. I think we're running a little long on time here. I think we should wrap it up with some Super League. There is no Super League this week. We are postponing it because it's hotter than the damn Dickens out there.
oh, can we just say the real reason?
What's the real reason?
Johnny Blocks.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say that. That's your brother, though. If you wanna, if you wanna go up to your brother, that's on you.
I think
Tim found the soundboard.
I think I'm allowed to harp on this for just a moment.
Here's your brother.
Yeah.
Johnny Blocks is probably correct in his stance on this. However, goalies, I just need you to understand you're outnumbered, okay?
Exactly.
You're outnumbered.
More of us.
Damn.
I'm not going to expand on the fact.
The commish going after the league goalies.
And
on a
also-
public forum. We're gonna have a mutiny.
Also, goalies,
What-
thanks for coming out.
One good game of posts and he's shitting all over the goalies.
We don't need goalies. We just need posts.
Get out of here.
But we got Super League. The playoffs begin. They are going to be delayed. The Trolls sitting number one, sitting that bye.
The Trolls ended number one. That's crazy.
Is it crazy?
With your week one struggles.
Who's on LTIR on
week
that team?
one struggles, buddy. Does it look like we're in week one?
Hey, so who's your first matchup?
Winner of Goats and Shields, I believe.
Mm.
And then
Okay. You
Uh,
guys are playing the Shields.
yeah. Well,
You guys decimated them early on.
I mean, decimated's a strong word, but
It was
you know,
a decimation. I think it was like 3-12 or something, right?
Ooh.
I mean, I don't want to get into specific numbers, but,
Okay.
it was,
But yeah.
Okay.
the cops should have been called. At some
Okay.
point. Yeah.
Start being all humble once you're on Chris Weiss's team.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, hey, better luck next year, huh?
Yeah, well, I was on the River Rats and we were eliminated last weekend. And so I think I have a little bit of space to talk a little bit of shit.
Nick Okada had a game in goal.
In goal.
In
Ooh,
goal.
Best
Okada in
skater.
goal was unreal. And this is actually going to lead into my gripe about the Super League. Is that as a paying participant of the Super League, the score and the time needs to be on point. It's what makes the league super. And if you can't do that, we're going to lose players.
Mm.
Can you elaborate?
Obviously,
Can you elaborate a little bit?
um, so our last game last weekend, we were playing against the Misfits, and in second intermission, we go, "What's the score?" And whoever is the apparent scorekeeper goes, "You're up by 3."
A number.
Okay, we start the game. The Misfits score a goal, and it's
Tied.
we're up by 1 all of a sudden.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. And this happened like 3 weeks prior as well. And so, look, I'm not going to go on about it. The time and the score, we have an abacus.
It was
We
CJ's fault,
have
right?
an abacus.
I don't think it
Give,
was CJ's
give,
fault, but
give me a bruh.
Bruh.
Thank you. That's all.
all right, that's all. I think we covered a lot. Tim, thank you so much for joining us
Anytime.
Thanks, Tim.
and dropping that sweet little treat. So what was it Greg and Keith? Those guys.
Yep.
All right,
They're
come
cool
through for
people.
us, guys. All right, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you very much.
Boom.